the LAN finals of the ECL held from July 10th through July 14th. LAN finals will be covered on Beyond the Summit from Beyond the Summit Studios in California. Here from Not Beyond the Summit Studios in Not California, my name is Vikrmond. We're checking out this game between God of Sun and Ogurayui. So, let's quickly talk about what the standings are as of this moment. We're up to 2 sets today. The one is a team that actually default their games already, so we will not see Rattlesnake play today. That means that Rattlesnake are guaranteed to go through 5 wins, no losses, 10 game wins, 0 game losses. Pretty much clinched to the top. But the way that the ECL works is that if we're 2 teams from each of the 4 group stages will be advancing to the LAN finals, and joined by, of course, the 4 ace teams at the end. That's IG, DK, LG, and both LGD teams. So it'll be a 12-team LAN final. We've determined 7 of the teams, including Rattlesnake, and today we determine the 8th. It's going to be one of 3 teams: XM, Ogura, and What. You can see a game they're facing up against GOS. GOS are essentially guaranteed not to advance. They have 0 wins, 4 losses. That said, they can certainly act as a spoiler. If they defeat Ogura here, they would take out Ogura's chances of even possibly advancing to the next stage and walk away with it. I mean, this is really, among other purposes this tournament serves, it is an opportunity for lesser-known Chinese teams, maybe teams that aren't as popular or high-profile, to really get to make their mark on the scene, really make an impression. And GOS, I'm sure they'd love to actually pick up a win here, or at least a game win. Even I do go down 2-1. We'll see what they manage to put up. The games I've seen of so far, I actually, you may have seen it in cover Tuesday through Thursday. I do hope that somebody got them on the stream, but even if they didn't, I was actually on vacation. I'm back from that now, and I'll be checking out both series today. Again, it's this series, GOS versus Ogura, and then afterwards at 11 Central European time, so that'll be 5 a.m. Eastern time if you're in the United States, and 5 p.m. Beijing time. That'll be the second series of today, which will be What's an XM, which also, I think that one promises to be a very, very interesting series. So, going up into the draft, Ogura, they ban out Nyx and the Alchemist. Alchemist first phase ban, something we're starting to see a little more. He can be run as a solo mid, actually fairly effectively. He can run, of course, a side lane carry, which we've seen a lot of. You can really get a tremendous amount of farm going and just completely dominate the other team by having 6 slots when the opposing carry is struggling to get their second or third. Most recently, of course, we saw some of that in Alienware Cup. Some absolutely insanely enormous alchemists of 900 more gold per minute just rampaging. Of course, Yamate from Zenith had a very high farm alchemist. I believe Mushi of Orange as well. Again, these are matches that I just watched on my phone or laptop while on vacation, but nonetheless, it's a hero that's been more and more impressive lately. It's fun to see him in the metagame. An interesting hero. And Ogura decided to take him out first as he's been growing in popularity, including in this league in particular. GOS meanwhile bans out Lifestealer, the sort of perennial strong hero ever since the buff to his feast duration in, I believe, 6.75. This hero has been almost omnipresent, really. And then the Bat Rider there are banned, as well as Nyx Assassin. Going up to the drafts, nothing special until this Tinker. We'll talk about this in just a second. But first, Ogura secure one of the preeminent support options that are available in the current pool in the form of the Visage. This is a hero who, he's got this Grichill ability to deal a tremendous amount of damage with Soul Assumption, and of course the Familiars offer an AoE stun opportunity as well as good damage in their own right. Sure, that can really take over the game early on, do a lot of damage, and continue to be a force throughout the game, but really it's not try versus try performance early. And then the Tinker. This is a little bit more of a surprising option. This is a hero that's freely used by some Southeast Asian teams, even at the very top. Zenith, of course, love their Tinker, known very, very much for it. Well, of course, curing the Tinker early here, maybe they felt as though he'd be banned in the second phase. Maybe they want to do something tricky with him. He is most commonly used as a solo mid because he's fairly level and farm dependent. There is sometimes the option of also using them as a side lane. We'll have to see if that's actually what pans out here. It's still fairly early in the draft, like that option. And then banning out here is actually Skywrath Mage, pretty smart ban. Skywrath Mage's Ancient Seal, his E, actually is tremendously effective against Tinker, because with Silence, Tinkers becomes a whole pile of nothing. You can actually even destroy him when Boots travels in with Ancient Seal. This is a pretty smart ban. The hero, however, mostly just a support ban. GOS, meanwhile, not to their lineup, they've taken the Dark Seer, strong anti-carry hero, also the repositioning capacity of the Vacuum is very strong. Vacuum, the pickup of this Dark Seer essentially necessitates the ban of the Jakiro second phase, because otherwise the Dark Seer are able to coordinate extremely effectively. And Gyrocopter, a very strong carry, of course, one of the strongest in the pool, basically first pick stats everywhere in the world these days, and Synchronous is pretty well with Dark Seer as well. You can hit the call down and get vacuumed in. Actually, Earthshaker provides a decent Dark Seer pseudo combo with Vacuum as well. Just a hero that, in general, I think we might see a little bit more play. He did get a buff, but it was mostly to playing versus illusion heroes like the Siren and Phantom Lancer. I don't think we'll see either of those here, but Earthshaker is still an option. A little bit level necessitating. He does want to pick up levels decently much. He's a little more strength support in that respect. He's a Sand King, want to get him a few levels to make effective. But he does get a very, very long range fissure even at level 1. There were another 100 or so units tacked on to the end of it in terms of its range. Sorry, I should say. In terms of its full extension in the last patch. And so, Earthshaker always a hero to watch. If he gets a Bleak Dagger, he can do things like the Echo Slam. Things get very, very hype indeed. But even before that, you have the option of using him here. The one concern is you guys will need another support. They're having quite a few support bans already. Scareth Mage and Assassin Jakiro. Obviously, Visage picked up Ogura already, and then GOS their own part ban Shadow Demons. So I suspect it's time to pick up another support here. Leave their mid choice for the 5th pick. Almost no mids have really been banned. Of course, Batrider, Clockwork to some extent, Alchemist to some extent, but these are optional mids. They're not mandatory by any means. GOS actually digging pretty deep into their reserve time. Again, I think this is a matter of trying to figure out how to make their... okay. Alright, well that's definitely a sideways thing to do. Oh, and IO actually coming up for Agoras. Of course, IO not banned out on any of these phases. They take it 4th, which means that GOS has one opportunity to ban out a pairing for the IO. You would have something like a... and they of course take the Chaos Knight, the most intuitive hero to ban out as a pair for IO, and we're actually taking a Warlock, so that's an interesting choice. I don't think Warlock would have been the best second support option for GOS, but really, we've got a quite interesting draft shaping up for us here. We have Earth of Hudge and IO. So IO, they still have the option of drafting any sort of carry in combination with this. There's still some popular carries available. The Alliance and Rising Star both play the Phantom Assassin in this context sometimes. I'm not sure this is a great idea. There's no Max Give or Cleave. There's also Rikimaru, Tiny, and no, they actually end up going with a Storm Spirit. A side lane carry role, Storm Spirit. Look at me, mid Tinker, Zex Bingo. Lane carry Storm Spirit, and then this is the question of what the IO actually pairs with. So we'll have to analyze that in just a second. Let's go ahead and show the teams. I feel like I'm a little bit behind the ball in terms of adding these drafts, simply because the last set of picks were rather unusual. So, let's look at Ogura first. We've got Shauna on the support. We'll have Will on the support visit. And then Dreamy you filling out the Trilade on this Storm Spirit. That puts Zex Bingo in the middle as the Tinker and YSY into the off-lane / jungle role as the Nature's Prophet. You know, either way like this, it looks mostly off-lane, but we can see him go into up the jungle like this as well. And this is a pretty intriguing lineup for Ogura. Very, very intelligence hero focused, in fact. Only one of these heroes is not intelligence, that's the IO, and IO is a very non-traditional strength hero, almost plays more like your standard intelligence heroes, despite being strength-based. Looking up towards God of Sun, we have 32 in the role of the parry as Gyrocopter. He'll be supported by Romantic Misery, with this name. I think he changed names since last I saw him on Earthshaker, and Dylan on the Rubik. That leaves Petite, or Petit, however you like, on the Punch, and it will be Yomad on the dark side. We've got a couple of aliases today here. GOS looked to be going for an attempt at a first blood. Romantic Misery actually body and it's not put the Fissure down, so YSY and he having a bit of a stare off there, and he'll peel off. And honestly, I'm very, very intrigued by both of these drafts. Of course, GOS, they've got this Pudge here who, when used effectively, he can just really completely take over a game. He changes the nature of the game you're playing in some respect. When you've got Pudge, things start to get a little bit different from what they would be in the absence of the hero. I mean, Pudge, a hero that, because of the way that Meat Hook works, because of the way that it requires it to be different for every hero, you have to sort of constantly be considering positioning. It's an ability that really just changes the nature of the game. However, it only does that if Pudge is able to do well early. He needs to be able to lane fairly effectively. He needs to be able to get some early kills. If he doesn't, he quickly spirals towards irrelevance. If he does, it can be very, very terrifying. And all the Pudges that we've seen at the professional scene are usually falling through either the Pudge becomes very terrifying early, and whether or not they win, the game is forever altered, or Pudge has a difficult time early, and it doesn't matter. You end up feeling like the Pudge pick was a waste of time. And Pettit so far, it has to be said he's somewhat struggling. He's 0 for 0 in last hits, denies. He's being effectively harassed by Xbingo. It really seems like Xbingo knows how to play against Pudge. He knows how to handle Pettit. I don't think we actually saw Pettit playing poorly. This is gonna be trouble for Xbingo. He still has the hook shot. No. He actually shoots out. He threw out Meat Hook, but there wasn't enough damage to actually take down Xbingo, and that'll be first blood for the Tinker here, first blood for the Radiant as a whole. Xbingo going to be very, very happy with that, and a 7 for 2, 1 kill, level 3, actually level 4 after one more creep hit. Yes, he is. And Pudge still stuck at level 2, actually not even with the money to buy a Town Port Scroll. That's a difficult start for GOS. They'll actually most likely have to delegate Dylan in Romantic Misery's time to try to get a kill on Xbingo here. Should be the hardest thing in the world. Tinker is that great, that roll, but Bad now in trouble in the bottom. Yes, so some a little more damage getting thrown out from Storm Spirit. That'll be the second kill for Ogura, seizing an early initiative there, seizing an early advantage. This farming Storm Spirit with 10 last hits already. And this is really the issue. Even 32 as the carry role for GOS is not really getting that impressive farm. I'm surprised that YSI is able to interfere with this at all. It just seems like a little bit of a skill gulf, not to try to be more judgmental than I think I have a right to be, but by all of the Shadow, the Gyrocopter should be able to farm fairly easily in this lane, and the fact that it is a concern. The Tinker is farming extremely well. You've got the Storm Spirit, Dreamy you find her farm. Oh, there's Fissure, actually. They do lift her with telekinesis, but the complete miss on the hook from Pettit, and Xbingo knows he won't escape. He just wants to trade with Pettit if he can. Actually, they let him walk out somehow. Here's Romantic. We're going to try to finish off, but unfortunately, Rocket's already coming through. YSY teleporting over. Romantic Misery now in a little bit of trouble. He's out Fissure. He's at 85-32. No, he'll walk away from this fight, but another loss of Pudge, and GOS picked that. They can't possibly be happy about losing a player in a fight that they themselves selected. YSY earlier around, he wants to catch out Romantic Misery. No, he's of course back, but he does plant down a ward, giving them a little bit better vision, and he sort of rotation made by GOS will be spotted out, and this is an issue. This is a problem. They've got zero last hits on Pudge. Dylan now taking a part-time job as Rubik now in the middle lane. We with Pudge returning, but that last gank, it could have gone better. They could have maybe at least landed the Meat Hook on Tinker to do a bit more damage. Unfortunately, the Meat Hook landed on the friendly Earthshaker. Really, I don't think anything went right for GOS in that gank. They really were to make a little bit more happen there, and instead almost completely stymied. Really not even anything that Ogurayui did, just a little bit of maybe unfamiliarity with trying to go for Pudge. Here comes Dylan. YSY actually seizing the illusion room, continuing to lock Pudge out of this game. He doesn't even have his model, but nonetheless an illusion room swiped for YSY. He was level 4 here. Well, compared to the Darkseer, Darkseer actually still stuck at level 1, so really a panoply of problems for GOS right now. They need levels on their Darkseer, really Earthshaker and Rubik 2 not finding levels at all. Meanwhile, Will starting to do a little bit of pulling. The IO only level 2, but I think Sean will eventually actually try to jungle here. This is going to be very, very, very slow going. We do have a disc, we'll probably have to take a pause. There we go. Dylan, meanwhile, and Romantic Misery actually smoked up. They'll be heading to try to get another kill on Zex Bingo. But he's sitting very, very far back right now, fairly safely. Low health, low mana. Understands if a gank were to come in, he'd be able to do very much. His empty bottle, probably going to have the courier ferry this in just a moment. And of course, he's got a tier boost speed. It does look like we'll be seeing Zex Bingo head directly for the boost of travel. If this gank is successful, if they do somehow, if GOS do manage to kill him off, you may see him buying a soul ring. Because he's going to lose quite a bit of unreliable gold, maybe. Well, you might see him buy a soul ring, you might see him just go back to the lane and continue for the boots of travel. Sometimes you see Tinkers, if they have a little bit of a hard time early, they'll pick up that soul ring for a bit of additional harassment, a bit of additional spell cast. It's actually more common when they have this build, when they don't have the fast march of the machines. You can see that he's building primarily laser heat-seeking missile. That's what I can get a couple kill punch already. And Zex Bingo, you do see soul ring more commonly when it's with this style of build rather than with a primarily march of the machine style of build. So, in that respect, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get soul ring. I also wouldn't be surprised to see him just go directly for the boots. Dreamy U, this is their hero we have to watch. We don't know which he's actually going to build in the storm. Basically, at the run of the farm, 26 last hits at 4.5 minutes. Pretty impressive, actually. More or less, where you want to be at this point. They've also effectively zoned the Darkseer. They have a lot of options to stun down, of course. They have the Tether Stun from the IO. They have the Electric Vortex from the Storm Spirit. Not amazing tools, but once Storm Spirit gets 6, that's when I really fear for Darkseer's life. So the Storm Spirit can just chase him with all lightning. You can immediately stop him dead in his tracks with the Vortex at our endpoint. I do see 2-1 for Storm Spirit is built here as well. In Darkseer, I mean, this is an issue. When you go lane, you have Ion Shell. The lack of an escape tool, the lack of the ability to just cast Surge and get the hell away from a fight is a serious problem. Sometimes if you see Darkseers building that Ion Shell first as a skill, they'll just start off in the jungle and come to the lane afterwards. I think in this case he felt that he wasn't in as much trouble as you sometimes are as 1v3 Darkseer with Ion Shell first, because Visage, IO, Spirit could be regarded as relatively weak trialing, but the issue is that with Soul Assumption, with the ability to toast on the electric, with 2 stuns and Soul Assumption, I'm not actually sure this is a lane that Darkseer can survive, and so far he really hasn't been. He has had the 1 death, only 3 last hits, and more importantly, he hasn't been able to approach the lane to actually get enough XP to even transfer to level 2. His counterpart, YSY, has been able to pick up all the way, he's, I think, halfway through level 4. And that's mainly by being on the solo lane. He hasn't even had to pull out jungle. He hasn't had to sort of retreat towards there. Part of that is because Dylan and Romantic Misery have had the time by. They've had to tread a lot of sortie to the middle to try to pick up a kill. As a consequence, Gyrocopter alone isn't going to generate that much pressure on the Nature's Prophet. Not sure I actually agree with 32 skill build here either. I have a bit of a quibble with it. I would like to see this be 3 in Rocket Barrage, 1 in Missile, and 1 in Flat Cannon. Sometimes you see Flat Cannon being underrated as a harassment utility, but actually is very, very good to harass a solo lane hero. You really just need the 1 in Homing Missile to threaten the ability to stun the opposing player. You don't really need the extra ranks in it for the longer of the damage, per se. Yeah, you actually get more damage out of being able to flat cannon them every time they come lane. It pushes the lane, but honestly the lane is already quite pushed, so it can't get much more pushed. Smoke actually wears off for Dylan and Romantic Misery, and they can't find the kill on Zex Bingo. I see Zex Bingo with this Radiant side smoke position of sitting back here. If you sit here, the smoke comes in and can get a gank off. If you sit over here, you have far fewer issues with that. The smart play from Zex Bingo, and once again, these supports can't find the kill. They're forced to retreat back, and you see him mad now. Now he'll go up toward the jungle. I think this is probably what he should have been doing all along. Better late than ever, though. It makes sense to send off Darkseer to the jungle, and I don't blame GOS in any way for doing that. But it's starting to become a low game, folks. We've got the Tinker at level 7, the Storm Spirit 7 as well, to the 6. 2. And then the supports have 4-4-3 on Nature's Prophet, Visage, and respectively, 2-1 on Rubik, Darkseer, and Aeroshaker. And that'd be a problem. And in the early game, those extra levels, 1 extra levels, can make an absolutely enormous. Here comes Yu. She has ball lightning. She wants happen YSY teleporting in from back. Here comes the ball lightning in. Actually pick off Pudge just with a dip. The ball lightning. Romantic Serena in trouble. Electric Vortex Soul Redemption. One more kill. One hit from the Spirit will get her a double kill, and Dreamy U now 3-0-0 in Storm Spirit, holding on to a regen rune. There's the use. She's going to probably start ball lightning around, trying to fish for another kill. There's the first ball lightning. We're going to keep an eye on her. Will she find Dylan out? Oh, ball lightning just past him. She spots him out. There's the Electric Vortex. Has another thing to take. There's lift up from Rubik. The telekinesis. No damage. He forgets to actually do one last hit to break out that regen rune. Dreamy U back to full health mana with a triple kill, essentially 6-0. By Ogura, that's them very, very far ahead, and now you can see this transition into a sort of push. You've got the Tinker, you've got the Nature's Prophet Core. Tinker mostly with a fighting abilities. No March of the Machines just yet, but actually, interestingly enough, it looks like Tinker. Oh, you back, you're mad now in trouble. Another kill for Dreamy U. It's going to town, and the help with Soul Assumption and the Laser and the Tinker will take this 9-0. I actually think GOS may almost be controvertibly behind, even this early in the game. At 7.5 minutes, we've got a 9-0 kill advantage. We've got out 7k experience, 7k gold already the advantage. IO not even online. In fact, IO has done barely anything in this so far. I'm not actually sure what the IO really. Maybe the Storm Spirit. Started around 32 now in trouble. He gets in the bottom lane for some easy harm. Call down will happen, and that's about Shauna maybe in trouble. No, one more tower hit, but it's not enough to kill off this IO. YSY from the back, of course, there helping to ensure the gyrocopter, and that was, I think, the last member of GOS without a kill, without a death to his name. Yes, it was. The gyrocopter was the good news, if any. Had good farm, 34 for 11, had decent levels at level 8, matching everybody else. And now you see him 34 on the ground, 32 on the ground, and Ogura are moving into stop mode. Dagon picked up for Storm Spirit as her first major item. Trying to add a little bit of insult to injury here, thankfully. 6-0 in the Storm, that's about to get terrifying. D-Dylan gets caught out. Zex Bingo picks him off extremely quickly. With the burst damage from Heat-Seeking Missile Laser, you can really kill a Rubik right quick. Keep in mind there's pure damage, so it really is terrifying. Here's the curve. So this is familiar with Dreamy U from the front. Electric Vortex embedded. It's lucky it was never alive, just the Dagon actually landing the last hit there, and the familiars drop down to recharge. This is really a terrible situation to be in if you're GOS. The Punch got barely anything. 0-5-0 for Teed, actually. He doesn't even have his ultimate. Like, he doesn't even have the ability to dismember in response to a gank. And usually use dismember as part of your ganking effort, so. Going to be another attempt in just a second. Does IO have 6? Actually, IO does, but they haven't relocated just yet. Just going to use it for the movement speed increase, maybe as a Storm Spirit initiation tool. They can also relocate to the backfield play, meat hook. Not successful. We haven't actually had a successful hook just yet. And Dreamy U continuing to rotate around, fishing for trying to make something happen. Here comes Pet. He's a little bit out of position. Will he get caught out from the high ground? Yet they don't have the vision. Here comes Soul Assumption. Even ground call down on 3. Shauna in a lot of trouble here. Maybe if we're on the party. Yes, but Darkopter on the ground. Dagon pick up the Dark Seer. 3-4 dead for GOS. Dreamy U charging Mantic Mystery, trying to get to the tower if he can another Assumption, and actually that'll be double kill for Zex Bingo and a Tinker 17 to 1 kill line. And GOS, you have to really admire them for the fact that they stuck in. They had tenacity, not simple. I think a lot of teams did, but they're not in great shape. Zex Bingo does indeed have that boost of travel. He picked up just 1 rank of March, 1 rank of Rearm, making the best of that now that he has its travel. And of course, the GPM, you've got 4 heroes above the top for GOS. Have nothing, and Gyrocopter has Phase Boots, Wraithband, but that won't really be enough to get Gyro in the game. I mean, they just have such low HP. If you look at GOS HP pools, 796 on Gyrocopter, Rubik at 587. I think Zex Bingo may very well be able to kill Rubik just with 2 spellcasts and 1 single auto attack. So here comes the relocate. Here's Dreamy U and Shop again. The Storm Spirit Eye, but not every day you see that. There's the rockets coming through. Dagon to get the pick off. Fisher comes through. Another Storm Spirit Spirit just running through here. The relocate will take Storm Spirit back, maybe able to keep her there, but this will get him. This will get Storm Spirit actually a lot more in the way of mana, so a sort of pseudo mana regen mechanic with the relocate here. Another throw on the ground for GOS now 20-1 the kill line at 11. SY lurking in the back here with just a stack of Wizard Drill. That's building. It's probably maybe an Necronomicon to finish this off. Sending up Tree and Zex and go moving toward them in this Nature's Prophet Bush. This will transition the illegals into an effective push composition. Pick off those remaining towers. And Sean now rejoined the fray. They're ready to 5-man. Their levels are so dominant at this point. They lose all the snuff from opening as a 5-man stack. The familiar here's chasing off GOS on the front lines. There's the destruction of the tier 2 mid tower. I think they can put into the tier 3 if they want, or they can just loop around, start taking away the mid tower, top tower. Here comes Drew. Once again, jumping right at Staff Remnant. Actually, he's on the ground, getting a little too hyped there. There's the call down once again. Zex Bingo picking somebody off with his own Dagon, using rearm to refresh that. Three on the ground in exchange for just the, oh my god, that Dagon's doing work. The Tip Dagon, even more of an impact than the Storm Spirit Dagon. They are just slaying GOS one by one. Look at the HP pools. GOS have barely any HP to their credit. When you add Dagon, the amount of damage that they Storm Spirit and Tinker just out at baseline, only anybody can survive. GOS are just too squishy. Even the Pudge, only 929, doesn't actually even have much heap skilled yet, so no extra strength bonus from them, no extra tankiness, just too low level for that 3-point striking to even make that big of a difference. And Ogura here, at this point, it's just a matter of how do they feel like ending this game. Do they feel like ending this game? Or are they ones to play with their food? Are they ones to just try and rack up the kill score, maybe set some records, set some world record if they can. Dagon 2 now for Storm Spirit. My concern for GBU here is I don't think she's going to be able to keep a Zex Bingo for kills, even though her damage straight up is very, very good. Especially if Static Remnant lands on several heroes. The Dagon is just going to be better from taking straight up. Even if it's a lower level in the Storm Spirit Dagon, it's just, we actually get another disconnect from Nature's Prophet. But the mech isn't picked up for us in the meantime. Here's a spot out. Smoke was, oh, the meat hook just barely misses, unfortunately. And now it's a 2v5. There, the call down doesn't hit anybody. Sean here gets pulled all the way across with Tether. Already for Zex Bingo here, reinforcing. Dreamview now locking down 32. He's in a lot of trouble. You mad? On the drug. You just see GOS melt in every one of these fights. YSY is offline, and Ogura don't even care. They just leave him offline, frank. And there's the GG for GOS. We'll be moving up its game to more like us, not folks, and this, nobody would say that it was very competitive. Mostly a tale of a team knowing that they had the advantage and just going a little bit of a composition to take advantage of that. I mean, Dagon's all across the board. Dagon 2 for Tinker, Dagon Storm Spirit. I was wondering what that Step of Wizard and Nature's Prophet was all about, but it was, in fact, a Dagon as well. Well, Dagon 4, did I buy a Dagon? Yeah, I was starting to buy a Dagon almost. Is, and Viz the only sort of, only person playing for real on this team, except mechanism. So, Ogura, with maybe an approach that some could regard as BM, but they did use their advantage to close GOS out. And Dagon is actually a great item for when you're already ahead to seal a game. It makes it almost impossible for the